It's really interesting. Like, he is one of the most spiritual people that I've ever, like, listened to. And he talks about something all the time that I think about. I don't remember if I asked you this. Have you ever read the book, The War of Art?
Yeah.
That's all about, art. And it's really, if you're a person that's creating anything, you should read this book. It's all about the process of creating things.
Correct.
And it's really not from you. All the ideas that you're having are from this spiritual plane that we exist in, and it's really just up to you to be open to the ideas.
Yes.
Basically, the whole idea is like these ideas are not starting with you. You're just receptive to them.
Exactly.
And Carlos is like a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
Because when he talks about all the time, like, I just let the music flow through me. Like, I'm a conduit of the music. He doesn't talk about I do this, I do that. He says the music does this.
Exactly.
The music does that.
Yeah.
And he's just on that spiritual wave, and you can tell just listening to it. If you've ever seen an interview with him, you know that he really lives on that vibration. Like,
It's
he's
true.
not putting this on to be like, oh, I'm like a hippie kind of guy. Like, that's just really how he is, and he really like experiences that, and he lets the music flow through him as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, and I definitely believe that too, because there are times when I can think of like a catchy tune or a catchy hook and I don't use them, and months later I'll hear somebody else use them, whether it's in a popular song or not, and it's like they didn't steal it out of your brain. They actually were just open to it and were like, let me just use it.
It came from somewhere. That just reminded me of something he said, which is maybe my favorite way of explaining a guitar solo I've ever heard. He said he always wants to contrast with what the band is doing when he's playing lead.
Oh yeah.
So this is what he said. This is gonna, if you're not watching on YouTube and if you're listening on audio, this isn't gonna make any sense. But if you're watching on YouTube, this is gonna make sense. So he says, if the band is going like this, then I want to go like that. And if the band's going like that, then I want to go like this.
Yes.
And it's so funny because somebody that doesn't know music might be like, what the fuck are you talking about, guy? But when I saw him say that, I was like, that's so true. That is so true.
I totally
that is
get
the
it.
goal.
Yeah.
And ever since I heard him say that, whenever I play a guitar solo, I'm like, okay, so if the band is doing this, then what can I do to go like that?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, maybe I'm thinking too much now. And I just need to turn my brain off and let the music happen.
Open yourself to the music.
And it's like, he literally has changed the way that I think about music.
Yeah, that's really cool, because you literally become an ingredient, like your own ingredient to the mix.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're doing it right, it's not like, I'm making this happen.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like, no, you're just part of it.
Yeah.
There's all these things happening around you in these spiritual planes that we can't really tap into. As long as you're open to it and you let it come through you, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And it is funny, like, because some people just are more, open. I guess artists are just more, conducive to that in general.
Yeah.
Because I do think about it. I'm like, sometimes, I don't know about you, but I'll be walking down the street and I just hear music on
Me
the
too.
street.
Yeah.
Right? Like, from the beeping of a car horn to the running of a motor
Me
to
too.
people yelling in the distance.
Yeah.
You could just kind of hear a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess some people don't hear things like that. They probably have other things that they have. Like, they probably see things differently, or they probably think of things differently.
Computer analyzation 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, or stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, like, you can just, the muses are real, and you just have to be open to them and
It's
let
true.
what it doesn't have to, again, it doesn't have to be music, it doesn't have to be art, it could be writing.
Yeah.
It's like, there's words floating around, there's ideas floating around. Are you going to listen to them?
Right.
Or are you going to let your own resistance stop you? And that's what it all comes down to. And that's the thing that I was talking about in that book, The War of Art, that really changed my perception. And then when I see Carlos Santana, I'm like, that's a guy that lives that shit.